Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in. My name is Rosalia. I have I think a couple of videos out there about negative, and once in a while, an artist get hooked on something, get a fever on a certain type of art. Well, right now mine is flowers. Never thought I'd get hooked on flowers. I'm not really a flower person, but let me tell you, I'm loving this, and I'm going to work it until I get tired of it. But right now, this video is mostly about using the negatives. The negatives. So after you cut the flower, you're left with a piece, and that piece I use. Take for instance this layout. Just love this layout. We have this negative right here. Okay, this is where this shape came from. This shape came from not this particular one, but this shape came from here. I thought I'd use that as my background and then put the actual shape in there, make a flower out of it. Okay, I also have on this one here this is the negative. The orange piece is a negative, and I put a flower, a white flower. I wanted to really give it a good look, so I put this orange one, and as you can see, I made a flower out of it. Another good example is this one, which is really my favorite page. This one right here. This is kind of heavy because it's almost finished. This journal, I love this art journal, but this whole piece here, I put it in. Right, this is recycled. My recycled paper. I made this paper at home, and it's thick. It has a lot of texture, and I love it. And then when you glue it down, it glues really nice. So here you have this here. Okay, this shape belongs to this, but I offset it. I offset it to not hide this. I didn't want to hide this. Again, with this one here, I offset it. Okay, as you can see, this is my recycled paper. This is another piece of paper that I designed myself, putting inks, you know the deal. And I offset it, made a flower, and put it in. This one also belongs to its own pattern. Okay, so as you can see, I use this piece of negative that you normally will probably just put it aside or just throw it away, whatever, or try to use as much space as you can by punching out other images. I used it in my layout. This is also a negative, and I made a flower out of it. Put its actual cutout, not the actual cutout, but the shape that belongs to this from another paper. And also I did the same thing here. Now, a lot of the times you'll see this, a double color here. That's because this paper was a little weak for me. I wanted a little more depth. So I added another piece behind it of a flower that I cut out from that piece of cardstock. So that's how this turned out. And the background is the background. I just go ahead and develop a background. I come back to it and decide what to do with it. Another good example is this one here. This one here is another good example because what I've used is, again, the negative, okay, and then I put an entirely different type of flower. Look how beautiful the background is. There go another negative, there go another negative. See how I did the enamel dots to it, okay? And here is a heartfelt creation, vintage floret or something like that, right? And I didn't buy the dye. I had to cut it, and I really like this flower. But in any case, look at the background. My recycled paper, this was the tip of the other piece of flower that was next to it. Here you go, another negative. I added a flower that is from that shape, but a different paper. Here you go, another one, negative. Put an enamel dot. And you can put any little piece you want there. I just like the enamel dot. But it could be anything you want, and make a flower out of your negative. That's another one that I really like. This one here is in progress. I just thought of this. I was cleaning out all of my scraps that I throw at the end there, and I went through all of that today, and I said I'm going to do something because I did have a vision. So right now this is in progress. Again, these are negatives from a die, and I don't know how this is going to turn out, but I'm going to add a few other things. I thought I'd ink it up a little bit. This is totally not finished yet. I don't know where I'm going to go with this. Hopefully I have another video that I can show the end product of this. But again, it's the use of all your negatives. Okay, look at that. Why throw that away? Those are just awesome. All right. So then we have also this one is, oh my God, I love this one here too. This one has three, well, in any case, here you have the negative. Look how beautiful. Look at the cut from the flower that was next to it. I left it just like that. Look at that, the cut from the flower that's next to it. Because if you look at the floral, you see it comes this way. So if I'm cutting this one, a tip of this might get cut off. If I want this one here, you see what I'm saying? So this tip will get cut also, and I left it. I left it just like that, and this was from the side. So and that one is probably the other one. Where is it? It's probably this one. I'm not sure, but in any case, when you do cut it, you always get a little bit of the other flower that's on the platform. So different flower here, a little bling bling. Okay, so look at the background. Look at the negative. Awesome. This one I chose to offset it. It is the same flower as my negative, but different paper. Different paper here again. This probably belongs to this one. And this is my recycled paper. And if you take a look again, this belonged to the other flower that was right next to it that I wasn't interested in. I just wanted to capture this one for the moment. I also ended up putting another piece of my recycled paper at the underneath to give it more dimension. Okay, and you have here another negative. I used it as a corner piece. This is a piece that was an extra piece, and another piece of negative over here in the corner. So you can look at your piece and say, oh my, this looks like a nice corner. Look at that. Love all of those shapes. And did a little bling bling all over the place. Some stamping. Okay. So that would be, this is one of my also favorite. The whole book's my favorite. Every time I show it to somebody, I say, oh, that's my favorite. They laugh at me. This one here, again, this was just recently too, I believe. I do my own typing sometimes, you know. I got the typewriter open, and I just love the way this turns out. Negative, punch flower. This was from another flower, I believe. Let me see. Nope, that same flower, but I used the negative. Over here, the same thing, and you can see the double here. I wanted to give it some more depth because it has a lot of depth. You know, it's not just flat. Just add a second piece at the bottom, third piece, depending on the elevation, the thickness that you want. Here we have, this really turned out really pretty. I have this flower, and let me see, I have, oh yeah, the negative from a different piece of paper, the negative of different piece of cardstock. A lot of my cardstock I designed myself. I just put a bunch of ink, and I just love it. So I designed this one, I designed this one, I designed this. So I have some cardstock that I can use, but I just love doing my own abstract type of design. Here you go. So from looking at this, because this is an entire piece right here. This is my page. If you can see this here, this is the piece of paper that I used to cut out other flowers. So there you go. Okay, so I put the whole entire piece of negative down, as you can see that. Okay, the whole negative piece is there. Kind of goes across over here, and that's the whole negative piece. So I designed that negative piece. And you see, as you can see this, and I put this negative on top over this negative to make a flower. Look at that. Awesome. This is beautiful right there. Again, this is the negative. This is one sheet, one piece of paper. I put the whole thing down, and then I added this piece down, my recycled paper, added another negative on top of that, and that's how I got this. This is just beautiful art. I really, really, really like that. And I think that was it. I think the rest these are pages that I want to get done. So in essence, you just go ahead and just develop your negatives. doing that. This was a piece of paper, was really, really weak. So I went ahead and cut out some of that flour, because I'll be using these. I could use this as a flour. I can use it as backup. I use it both ways, and if I need the flour to have more substance, then I back it up. But this needed more substance, so it's just paper. But I like the design, so I now have this one ready. I did several of these. Okay, so these will go on my art somewhere. I mean, I could put it down. I have a blank area here that I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Let's just take, for example, this one. I'm probably going to leave this by itself. But can you imagine? You just go ahead and put these pieces together over here, you see, and then create your page. And that's what you need. And then you add whatever flowers you want and design the flower. You're just designing the flower. And I save all of my negatives. These are all of these negatives. Okay, because I had these little squares. I didn't know what to do with it. I said, oh, let me cut out some flowers. And then, you know, save the negative. And if they're nicely centered, even though if they're not centered, I still use them, because if they're not centered, you see this one here, I put a backing to it. This is gonna be beautiful on a layout, and that's how I develop. Look at this one. This one was this design, and this design, and I thought I just went ahead and I didn't like this too much by itself, so I added this, which gave us more interest. And I added this piece because I love this piece. I didn't want to throw this away, and I didn't know what to do with it, right? I was having a hard time trying to get this connection. I finally found it, so I'm going to use this. Look at the top. The top has the cutout of the other flower in that plate. So I'm just having a wonderful time. I left this one by itself. This is recycled paper, people. It's just beautiful. Look at this one. I backed it up with my recycled paper, and look how nice. Look how nice. Really looks great. And I mean, I can show you so many. This one has, I backed it up on a couple of pieces because it was cut. I really like how I designed this paper, and I didn't want to lose it. So here goes piece here, there go piece there to strengthen it. And that's what I have. I mean, I have a number of the flowers here. I also take my flowers and back them up. If this one that's just like this one here is a little flimsy to me, it's a little flimsy. I will take any other color and just put it together and give it a little more substance. So I've been doing that also. So I just wanted to share with you how wonderful it is in just taking a second look at your negatives. Let me tell you quickly. This is what I did on one of the pages when I told you I put the whole page. I like this. I designed this. This was color from my card, my box that I spritz in. That box has a lot of color and shimmer to it. So what I did was I wet the box. I wet the box, put my white cardstock down, and this is it's a corrugated box. So this is the corrugated design that I got. It was just crazy. I wasn't expecting it, but I just went ahead and did it. My time is almost up. I hope you rethink about your negatives if you're really into flowers. Even if you do 3D flowers, I think the backing will work on those even more awesome. For me, I'm going to use it in my journal, so mine's not going to be flat. And I don't see too many flowers that are flat to be used in journals. So I hope that this video gets out, and people that have journals and they want to use flowers and they can't do 3D, this is the best way out. I don't know any other way. I've enjoyed myself with all of these flowers. This is my time. I enjoy what I do at the moment. What will happen later on, and I have all these flowers, I really don't care. But for the moment, I'm having a good time. Have a good night. Thanks for tuning in. Have fun.